top 10 scariest monsters from Norse mythology. Norse mythology features some fascinating figures who are not necessarily mighty gods. Instead, it's the monsters that sporadically show out to terrorize humans and confront the gods. The religious foundation of the Viking warriors that pillaged Europe from the 8th to the 11th century was Norse mythology, which includes the tales of Odin, Thor, and Loki. Around 1,000 years ago, when Christianity spread throughout Northern Europe, the religion began to collapse. Norse mythology, on the other hand, never completely lost its hold on Scandinavian thought and has had a significant impact on modern literature, television, and video games with its gripping tales, complex characters, and terrible monsters. In this video, we are going to talk about top 10 scariest monsters from Norse mythology. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. So let's start. Number 10. Norns. There is no evidence that anyone has ever attempted to impeach the Norns to alter their fate, which suggests that the Norse regarded fate to be blind and unforgiving. The Tree of Life, which houses the 9 planets of Norse mythology, was looked after by the 3 main Norns. Given that all things eventually die, their care can do little more than delay the tree's demise. With Ragnarok, everything will come to an end. Number 9. Mare. Sleeping on the mare monster caused nightmares. The mare were thought to be demon-like souls of live humans who departed their bodies at night. When their souls wandered, witches' souls became animals, but normal people, especially adolescents, were also said to become mare. Nighttime soul wandering was prevalent. Odin worried that his soul would wander forever. When the mare touched people, cattle, or plants, their hair would tangle. This likely explained Polish plate syndrome, a hair disorder. It also caused tree branches and roots to intertwine. Number 8. Kraken. Norwegian and Greenlandic waters are home to the kraken. Some myths describe them as giant octopi or squids that may be mistaken for islands. Men drawn to the island would drown when they stepped on it, feeding the kraken. It was thought to create massive whirlpools to assault ships when it surfaced. The kraken preferred fish. Their guts attracted fish. Their thick, fishy waste attracted many fish for the kraken to eat. Number 7. Jötunnar. Norse mythology's Jötunnar are giants with godlike powers. Jötunnar means devourers, not size. The Jötunnar are the Asgardian gods' enemies, representing chaos. Many Asgardian gods are Jötunnar descendants. Odin is half Jötunnar, Thor 3/4. To maintain balance, the Asgardian gods control the Jötunnar rather than slay them. In the Norse creation myth, the gods build the universe from Jötunnar Ymir's body, reflecting harmony. Number 6. Jormungandr. Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, is another Loki Angerboda kid. He is a sea serpent or dragon that resides around Midgard, the visible world of humans. Odin threw him into the ocean to protect him. However, this creature grew huge enough to encircle Midgard and grab his tail. He opposes Thor. In one narrative, Thor goes fishing with a giant Hymir and captures Jormungandr on his line. He removes the serpent from the river and faces Jormungandr, who dribbles poison and blood. Hymir is shocked by the image and cuts the fishing line before Thor can slay the serpent with his hammer, returning the reptile to the water. Thor and Jormungandr are also destined to fight during Ragnarok, when the snake will rise from the sea and poison the sky and ocean. Number 5. Huldra. Raw woodland wardens, the Huldra protect numerous locations. The female Huldra are always gorgeous and alluring, yet they have a cow's tail and a bark-covered back. Huldra can stroll among men as young women. Only seeing their tail breaks their illusion. They visit communities to entice young, unmarried males into the forest to be slaves, lovers, or killed by the Huldra. If a captive escapes, they will always be tempted to return. Number 4. Fossagrimmon. The Fossagrim, often referred to as the Grim, is a spirit and monster of the sea. With amazing skill, he imitates the sounds of the wind, river, and forest on the fiddle. He can be persuaded to impart the knowledge. He typically requests an offering, such as a white goat thrown northward over a waterfall with its head turned away, or 4 consecutive Thursdays of smoked mutton stolen from the neighbor's storehouse. The gloomy will only teach the supplicant how to tune the fiddle if there is not enough meat on the bone. He will grab the student's right hand and draw them along the strings until they bleed if the offering is judged appropriate. Number 3. Fenrir. The most well-known of the many wolves mentioned in Norse mythology was Fenrir. He was the child of the giantess Angerboda and the god Loki. In our post, you may learn more about the mythological wolf Fenrir. Fenrir was fostered by the gods of Asgard to prevent him from spreading havoc on the 9 planets, but because of how swiftly he grew and how much difficulty he was causing, they decided to chain him. The gods pretended to be playing a game to test Fenrir's strength in order to persuade him to let them lock him up. Every tie was easily broken by Fenrir. The gods eventually ordered the dwarves to create a unique chain that was lighter than appearing yet stronger than any known chain. In order to demonstrate his good faith, Fenrir insisted that one of the gods put his hand in his mouth while he was being shackled. Even though he was aware that he would be losing his hand, the deity Tyr agreed to this. Fenrir actually grabbed Tyr's hand after realizing he had been duped. The gods then bound him to a rock and stuck a sword in his mouth to keep it open. Drool from the situation created the foamy river known as Expectation. The foreboding river Expectation bears a name that alludes to Ragnarok, the Norse mythological event when the world ends and Fenrir breaks free to exact revenge. Other huge wolves who follow the sun and moon, Skull and Hati, are supposed to have been born from Fenrir. Additionally, it is stated that they will at last when Ragnarok arrives. Number 2. Dwarves. Dwarves, also known as dark elves, are small, misshapen creatures that appear in both Norse and Germanic mythology. They were born as maggots from the body of Ymir, the first of the Norse giants, and were given the gift of reason by the gods of Asgard. They were said to reside in Svartalfheim, a subterranean location that was a labyrinth of mines and forges. They were claimed to have created the best jewelry and weaponry, including as Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, Gungnir, Odin's spear, and the wife of Thor's long golden hair. Dwarf beings are sometimes depicted in mythology as turning to stone when exposed to sunlight. For instance, it's told that one dwarf by the name of Alvis sought to marry Thor's daughter, but after being duped into chatting until dawn, he was struck by sunlight and turned to stone. Number 1. Draugr. In Norse mythology, the dead are known as Draugr. They resemble zombies, monsters, more than vampires, despite the fact that some myths refer to them as blood-drinking creatures. The Draugr can grow bigger at will and have superhuman strength, but they can't get rid of the smell of death and they look like a dead body. The Draugr creature is known to enter communities in order to wreak havoc on the living, frequently tormenting those who wrong them in life. They frequently live in their graves in order to defend the treasure that they were buried with. They have the power to crush someone with their superior strength, consume their flesh, consume them whole while enlarged, or kill someone indirectly by making them crazy. These beings were rumored to have the ability to harass the living by entering their dreams, and they would always leave behind a present to convince the victim that the meeting had actually taken place. If the Draugr's bodies decompose too quickly or are burned, mutilated, or otherwise obliterated, they can die once and then die again. People who were nasty, selfish, or unpopular were thought to have the highest likelihood of becoming Draugr after death. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.